All right, my next guest says securing our personal data is a matter of staying at least one step ahead of the hackers. The problem is how. Mike Potts is CEO of Lancope, a cybersecurity firm. Mike, welcome.
Kelly, good to be here with you. Look forward to coming today and sharing some of the remarkable research that is talking about what's actually happening and the disconnect that basically these compromises are not making it up to the CEO suite. Only 20% of them understand what's happening, which, you know,
I was just going to say that's an interesting point. Before we even get into that, here's what I want to know. Has something fundamentally changed? Why is this becoming so much more prolific, so much more widespread? Is it because of the perpetrators? Is it because of the systems being perpetrated? What is your take here?
Kelly, the old security model is broken, and we are going to go through this again and again and again. In fact, in this Ponemon Lancope research that was just released, 48% of the companies that we interviewed felt that within the next 6 months a material breach was going to occur. And the reason being is the perimeter model is broken. I mean, similar as you lock the doors on your house and your office building, the criminals have been able to figure out how to pick these locks. We need a much.
But Mike, here's what I don't understand. Credit cards have been around for decades. So what has changed? Is it that they've better figured out how to infiltrate? I mean, should we even be generalizing here? Or is it, for example, in the case of a Target, some of their software, online storage systems for this data that are being penetrated as opposed to the credit card systems themselves?
Well, it's twofold, Kelly. Again, organized crime has gotten much better in terms of how they hire perhaps a group of kids to write a piece of malware that can be interjected on a POS device, as the case was in Target. In the case of the magnetic strip way of actually handling credit card processing, that has become very compromisable, if you will. I mean, we're eventually going to move to a pin and chip technology. It's not going to cure everything, but it's going to make it a little bit more difficult to siphon off this information that has been siphoned off as of recent.
I want to bring it in the panel, Mike.
Yeah, this is Sharon Epperson. Why is malware being so difficult to detect early on? It's my understanding from reports that the Target breach, when that was discovered, there was 0% detection of the malware issue. So why is it taking so long for those to come to light?
Sharon, fast forwarding over what's happened in the past few years, malware is being produced at a much slower rate, and antivirus systems were able to keep up with it from a signature base to detect it. Now it's happening at such a prolific speed, and then also relative to the sophistication of it, AV systems, firewalls, and perimeter-based defense systems aren't able to keep up with it. Matter of fact, some of the malware still hasn't been signaturized across the board.
I want to know what steps people here at the panel. I mean, Simon Hobbs over the weekend was talking about options to basically cut off your credit card if you want to keep any information from beginning, but it's difficult. I mean, and it feels
are we
like,
going to go back to carrying around a money clip with a wad of bills, or are we going to see universal security quality ratings for retailers that will help us judge, who's a safer place to shop? I mean, what's next for consumers?
What's really scary is that what we talk about on this panel every week seems to be the smart home and how everything is going to be connected and is already connected. That's even scarier than getting into your computer. I mean, what could
into your house?
What could be some of the potential hacking things that are going to happen there? We're already seeing, there was a report, even a refrigerator, there was a spam attack because of the connection.
Sharon, not just a refrigerator, but think about your data that's going to be kept by the government now, the healthcare records. I think we talked about last week that I said the luxury of the future is going to be privacy. And I think this is, again, another data point here. And I'd like to ask Mike, is this the new normal? Is there anything that really can be done, or are these hackers always going to be one step ahead? Because it seems like if the data is out there and accessible, that there's going to be some way to access it.
Briefly, Mike?
Yep, Sharon and team, you alluded to the Internet of Things right now, everything becoming interconnected. I'm working with our 650 customers day in and day out and our prospects, and they're sweating bullets relative to trying to get operational visibility and security intelligence, and it's a lean forward incident response effort in investing in actually this investigative action to learn with what's happening to protect your network. Because, by the way, we're never going to be completely secure. It's the question of how do we shut these types of compromises down before they become material, such as what the case of happened with Target at 40 million credit cards and 70 million records. $22 billion, by the way, as the potential. That's like breaking into Fort Knox. Can you imagine that?
Absolutely.
The money clip?
Absolutely. No, I meant the rating on cybersecurity, but
really,
maybe the money clip too.
That could work.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Great to be here with you.
Really appreciate it.